Are you struggling to keep your Catholic family focused on Jesus this Christmas? A lot of us are. The struggle is real, but don't worry. It is possible to keep your children focused on Christ this Christmas, and I have 3 super simple, important, and doable things that you can do to make this happen. Hey there, I'm Nancy from Catholic Sprouts. If you would like more real and meaningful ideas that Catholic parents can use in the work of raising saints, then please consider subscribing to this channel. And when you do, don't forget to ring the little bell so that you are notified each and every Tuesday when I share a new video to help you in this important work. Between Santa and parties and shopping and gifts and concerts, it can be really hard to keep our eyes focused on Jesus during Christmas time. And it's hard for us as adults. It must be really hard for children. And so, as the parents of Catholic children, we need to be deliberate about helping them keep their eyes focused on Jesus. Now, this isn't just a fun thing to do, my friends. We all know that this is so important. Satan's work in the world is real. And if he can get us to forget about Christ at Christmas, he can get us to do all sorts of things. So let's really work today to come up with real things that we can do to help our family stay focused on Jesus this Christmas and not get distracted by the materialism and the stress that we also know comes around at this time of year. Idea number 1 for keeping your children, your family's eyes focused on Jesus this Christmas is easily the most important idea that I'm sharing with you today, and it's this. If you want your family's eyes focused on Jesus at Christmas, you need to make sure that your eyes are focused on Jesus at Christmas. It needs to start with you. Now, I'm talking about, of course, entering into the season of Advent. Use time in spiritual reflection, get into scripture, but I'm also talking about the larger work of controlling our minds and controlling our anxiety levels. A lot of times at Christmas, we can get really wrapped up with things and really stressed out about events. We want to bring really good food to the family gathering. We want the house to be really beautifully decorated for Christmas. We want our kids to love the gifts that we give them. And sure, all of these things can be really beautiful. They can be ways that we can really serve and love those in our lives. But they can also take our eyes away from Jesus. Something I like to remember, especially during this time of year, is that anything that pulls my attention away from Jesus is not good. In fact, it is evil. Satan is very smart. He likes to use things that are good, generally, entertaining our family, making sure our children feel loved through the gifts that we give them. He likes to take those good things and blow them up so that they push Jesus out of the way. So let me say that again. Anything that pulls our attention or distracts us from Jesus Christ, that eliminates our time to pray, that clouds our ability to see God's work in our life, those things are not good. And those things need to be eliminated. So this is the most important thing I'm sharing with you today. But if you want your family's eyes on Jesus during Christmas time, make sure that your eyes are on Jesus at Christmas time. Idea number 2 for keeping your family and your children's eyes on Jesus during Christmas is to encourage your children to give. Very often children, and rightly so, are focused on what they're going to get at Christmas. We all know that this is the case, and we all were like this at Christmas time when we were children. There's nothing wrong with it, but we as parents need to show them a better way. Christmas, of course, is not just about getting. It's really about giving. What I like to remind my children of is that we give gifts on Christmas to remind ourselves of the most precious gift that we have ever received on Christmas. And that is, of course, the incarnation, the birth of God made man in a manger. And that gift eclipses everything else. Now, because of the generosity of God, because He sent His only Son to be here on earth and to die for our salvation, because of that generosity, we should not turn into greedy monsters. No, because of His generosity, we should be generous. Teach your children that. Christmas is not a time about getting things. Christmas is a time about being generous. So help your children remember this and encourage them. It's not about what you're going to get. It's about what you are going to be generous and give to others. Now, I know this is tricky with children because they don't have a lot of cash to go to the store and buy things, but that's perfect, actually. It helps us keep things simple. In my family, we do a handmade gift exchange. Each child gets to raid our craft stores. I print up some pictures, and they usually make a framed picture for the family members that don't live near us. It's a fun, beautiful thing that they can give to other people, and it's such a fun thing to watch children have their gifts opened by those that they love, and to really allow them to experience the high of generosity. Because as with any corporal work of mercy, any sharing in the divine life of God, there are beautiful blessings that come with that. So encourage your children to be generous. My final idea for you to help keep your children's eyes focused on Jesus during this time of year, during Christmas, is to limit the number of gifts that you give them. Of course, we should give our children's gifts at Christmas, but what we do is we limit their gifts to 3. We only give each child 3 gifts. Now, if you can get family members, aunts, uncles, cousins, grandparents in on this so they genuinely only get 3 gifts, well, then you're doing better than we are. But we try to give them just 3 gifts. And the reason we do this, of course, is Jesus. Jesus in the manger. He was born into poverty. He was born in a barn. And yet He, through the generosity of strangers, through these kings that showed up, He received 3 gifts. I think it's a beautiful symmetry to remind our children of, that you are our precious gifts from God, just as Jesus was the ultimate precious gift from God. And like Him on Christmas, you get 3 gifts. So I hope you will consider that. I know that it's tricky, and I know with big gifts or little gifts, they can become complicated, but just really think about that. We found this idea to be completely freeing, my husband and I, and it's just nice to know that this is the number and this is the reason. All of the things I've shared in this video are super simple, I know that, but I wanted to help you see that keeping our family's eyes focused on Christ at Christmas can be something very easily done. But it is so important, and we need to be deliberate about doing these things. And of course, it all starts with you for your family and me for my family. We need to demonstrate to our children that Christmas is a time of real joy and love and generosity. It is not a time about shopping and materialism and gluttony. Sure, we can celebrate. Sure, we can love the gifts that we've been given, but that is so much further down our list of priorities than truly celebrating Jesus. So I hope you think about these ideas, you talk about them with your spouse, and it really sets you up for a beautiful Christ-centered Christmas with your family. If you are looking for even more ideas for keeping Christ in Christmas and a community of women that are going to help you do this, I encourage you to follow the link below this video to our private Facebook group. The Catholic Sprouts Facebook group is for Catholic parents who are active in the work of raising saints, but simply need a couple more ideas and a little bit more support. Finally, if you enjoyed this video, I ask you simply to like it, to subscribe to this channel, and to consider sharing this video with another Catholic mother in your life. Finally, take a moment to comment. I would love to hear from you in the comments. And this is what I want you to answer. Do you like the idea of giving your kid just 3 gifts for Christmas? Do you think that's doable? Do you think family members will throw a wrench in that? What do you think? I'd love to hear your thoughts because you are all experienced in parenting and we all have something to share on this topic. Thank you so much for being here. Once again, I'm Nancy from Catholic Sprouts. I'll be back in a week with another video, but until then, I would love for you to join me in the important but humbling work of doing small things with great love. I'll see you soon.